Hello and good morning, everyone. This is Amir Ismail with you live from Toronto. Thanks for joining us today. Those of you who are new here, we are a Toronto based licensed immigration consulting firm, and we assist people in immigrating to Canada since 1991. We arrange these information session on regular basis. But today's program is a bit different because we have taken the liberty to um, test drive a new format where we would be inviting people on screen with us and they'll be able to ask the question. So if you have registered and if you are on backstage, my request would be that when you are invited to ask question, you can ask one question, and then once your question has been answered, you can leave the studio so that you can make space for other people because we have very limited space available on backstage. So I'll really appreciate your cooperation in that. So new question and answer format, if it succeeds or if it flies, then we'll be able to continue with it. Let's see how it goes. Before we start our session today, I would like to take a few seconds, say a few words regarding the hateful and heinous attack that took place in London, Ontario, a few days ago against a Muslim family. It was a horrific news for all of us, and of course, we are all were terrorized by the act of hatred. In Canada, we welcome people from all around the world with open arms, and we embrace them and we make them our own. There is no room for Islamophobia or any other kind of racism and discrimination in Canada. But the incident that happened is extremely unfortunate, and it is an indication that Islamophobia and racism is alive, even in Canada. And we all need to take steps to stop these kind of insidious and despicable acts. I'm happy to see our leadership, the Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, the Premier of Ontario Doug Ford, and Jagmeet Singh, the leader of the NDP party. They all pitched in, they all came together and pledged that they will take steps and continue to use every tool they have to combat Islamophobia. And they'll be there for those who are grieving, but words are not going to be sufficient. Actions need to be taken. So now I would like to request all of those who are watching and who are participating in today's broadcast to say a few words of prayer before we start our program. Just bear with me. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So let's start our question and answer sessions. We have few people, in fact, many people who are in fact trying to enter the broadcast studio. So we'll start with those who are waiting for a while, and then we'll continue with those who could join. We have some comments coming in as well. So let's start with our first participant. Let's see who we've got. We have Rizwan Karim Saeed with us. I think he is not available at the moment, or maybe he is. Rizwan, how are you? All right. Thank you for joining us today. Are you joining us from Pakistan?
No, sir, UAE, from UAE. How are
From
you, sir?
UAE. I'm good. Thank you. What is your question today for us, Rizwan?
Uh, Actually, sir, I had applied for this. There is a new Newfoundland. They have some new. There was, I think, skill priority. Actually, my wife is a nurse. We had applied there, and
Okay.
yesterday we got invitation from there
Right.
for the nurses.
Right.
So I was just confused about when I read about that. They were looking for the register LPN. It's mentioned there. So do we need to register? We are hiring registered in Canada people, or like registered nurse usually generally. So that was
Right.
my question.
Which province is that? I'm assuming it is Saskatchewan, right?
No, no, sir. It's Newfoundland.
Okay, it's Newfoundland. Okay. So
Yeah,
what
yeah.
are they asking for? Are they asking for her to register first and then they are going to consider it? Is that the case?
No, no, sir. Actually, we received invitation for the ITA, something like that. We need to
Invitation
fill
to
the
apply?
required documents. Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, I need
So
to
just
see.
I was,
Yeah, go ahead.
I, the confusion is that when we look at the demand list, there is
Hmm.
mentioned LPN,
Okay,
PN, right?
licensed
I think,
practical nurse,
or
licensed practical
registered
nurse.
practitioner, nurse, something like that. Yeah,
Okay.
something. Okay, she is not registered in Canada, so is it okay for that?
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be okay, but I need to look at the correspondence so as to be able to give you a proper advice because it is not available at the moment right in front of me. I need to see whether it is something that they require before you submit the application, or if your concern is about her being able to practice as a nurse in Canada. So naturally, we'll have to look at the correspondence. What I recommend is that you share the correspondence with my team. They are going to coordinate with you. Our email address is available on our website, info@amirismail.com. You can do so, and we'll be able to provide you necessary guideline. It is difficult, naturally, you can understand it is difficult to give an advice without reviewing the documents. So let's get in touch.
Okay,
We'll be happy. Okay.
sure, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so we have our first question from Rizwan. So I'll request him to leave the studio so that we can make space for other people joining. And let's take another participant. Uh, we have Taj Bano contacting us, so we need to unmute her, I guess. Okay. Okay. Hello. How are you doing, Taj Bano?
Assalamu alaikum, sir. I'm fine.
Okay, great. Where are you joining us from?
From UAE,
From
Sharjah.
UAE. We have back-to-back UAE applicants. So yeah, how can we assist you today?
Okay, sir. My question is that I'm completing my bachelor degree in end of this month, and
Okay,
secondly, I'm expecting my first baby in October, and I'm interested in applying for master's program in any Canadian university. So, which
right.
session will be suitable for me? And secondly, I'm going to ask that can I get uh, can I take my husband and baby as dependent and will it be possible to take the three visas together and travel together?
Sure.
And I also want to know about the budget for all of us.
Okay. So we have been assisting international students in. I'll just mute you for the time being because it's reverbing, but you can hear me, right? So we do assist international students in securing admissions. The first step is always in securing admission. We can find a suitable institute as per your budget and as per your desirable course that you wish to take up. We can do that, and we can also let you know how much money would be required for you to pursue your education. In regards to your specific question about husband and your baby going with you, it is possible. Students can come to Canada on study permit, and the accompanying spouse can get an open work permit. So the accompanying spouse can work in Canada without the need of having an employer while you're studying. In fact, you can also work while you study for 20 hours per week. That is allowed, and you don't need a work permit for that purpose. Your child can also come with you, right, as a dependent. So it is possible for you, your husband, and your child to travel together. And if you need any assistance in terms of, there are two steps. One is the student visa, of course, and the other is the study permit, which comes next. First, you have to secure admission, and for that, you need to meet the requirements of the institute, like your past academic record, your language skills, whatever. So, assuming that you secure admission, the next step would be to apply for the visa, the study permit. and we are in a position to assist you in both ways. If you wish to get yourself assessed as a student, we have an assessment form available on our website, amirismail.com. There is a student form. You can complete it. We can get back to you within 2 business days with our opinion. That's free assessment, and we can take up your matter accordingly. Okay?
Sir, this is Rahman Ali. I am husband of Mrs. Taj Banu. So together we are interested to migrate to Canada. So our case, since our case is more specific, she is graduating by the end of this month, and we are expecting a baby in the first week of October. So to be specific, which session would be like more suitable? So we prepare accordingly our plan.
Yeah.
Fall, winter, or summer.
Yeah. So basically, availability of the admission, of course, you need to schedule and timeline according to your availability. So she's in the family way, and then there'll be a delivery of the baby, and then the recovery period. Naturally, she has to take care of the baby and newborn. So you have to look at the availability, and then we have to look at the availability of the sessions. Usually, session starts in September, but there are some sessions in mid of the year as well. I believe you might be interested in pursuing the study course in the year 2022.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so once you complete the
The
form, we'll be able to get back to you
Yeah,
accordingly.
yeah,
Okay?
yeah. The question is like, since she is already an ongoing student, she is graduating by the end of this month. So, we our desire is to not have a gap. We want continuation. So, we
Yeah.
would be more interested to have admission maybe in May 22 or January 22. So, for that, if delivery of the baby would be a challenge for us, or it's not a challenge, that's what we are trying to dig out.
I'm not too sure about that. Whether it'll be a challenge because it really depends on your own ability to manage things. But as far as the admission is concerned, we would be able to secure admission for you, and
So,
we'll be able to see which session would suit you. So let's continue that discussion after you have completed the assessment form, and we can set aside time for you specifically. Our student visa team can counsel you on the timeline, and that will be
sure,
better. All right.
sure. Lastly, I'll take few seconds. So it's possible like we can travel together. We can get the
Yeah,
visas
that
for
is
three
what I
of
said.
us
We
upfront.
will apply for both of you together. Okay.
Okay, thank you. So we
Okay.
will be submitting the assessment form.
Sure. Thank you very much for
Thank
your
you, sir.
attendance
Thank
today.
you for your time. So
Thank
nice.
you. Take care. Bye. Okay. So yeah, thank you very much. And we have Ali Raza joining us from Karachi. Hi, Ali. Can you hear us? Yeah, I think the internet is a little bit of a challenge with Ali. Yeah, we have you now on
It's
the
working
screen, Ali.
fine.
Yeah, it's working now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
how can
Nice
I
to
ask?
meet you. Well, I just have one big question, and the question is that I'm 36, and my education is not really in alignment with what I do, but I have over a decade of experience in e-learning, animation, and multimedia. So, what would be the best approach for me to, in order to, secure an immigration
Okay. Okay, so we do have a little bit of internet problem at your end, Ali, but I got your question that your education and your work experience perhaps are mismatching. And if that is the case, we can look into it. We can look at your job description. We can look at your occupation. We can look at your educational qualification. Sometimes, if you're working in a unregulated occupation, um, you can still apply and choose an occupation that might be different from your educational qualification. We have had cases like bankers, for example, with MSc Geography, right? We even had accountants with the non-accounting degrees, but they had loads of experience and they were able to work as accountants in their field. But yes, if you are working in a profession that requires you to have a specific degree, for example, a doctor. And if you say, I'm a doctor, but I have an MA Islamiyat, then it might not be acceptable, right? Because the question arises, how are you able to practice as a doctor in first place? So yeah, it really depends. Share your CV with us or complete our assessment form, and we'll be able to provide you an opinion, and it's free of cost on our website. Okay. Yeah, I think we are losing Ali's voice, but I hope it has answered the question. But if you wish to have further questions, keep in touch, and we'll be happy to assist you. Yeah, I think the internet is not good at the other end. Okay, so yeah, so Ali I'll appreciate if you can leave the studio so we can make some space. I'm sorry, I keep on repeating this with everyone because I just want to give everyone a chance to attend to it. Okay, so we have another participant with us. Humayun is with us. Hi,
Assalamualaikum,
Humayun,
sir.
how are you?
Alhamdulillah, fine, sir. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Where are you joining us from?
I am from, sir, Khobar, Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia. Okay,
Yes.
wonderful. And what is your question for us today?
I am talking to you with reference to Naghman Abid Siddiqui. Maybe it is in your
Okay.
knowledge. He has referred to me. So
Okay.
before I had sent an email regarding all the situations that I am working here in Saudi Arabia since June 2010 in the capacity of an accountant.
Okay.
And then I am crossing in coming August 39. So I'm going to be 39 years old. And
Yes.
I have two questions here. One question, if I'm going to migrate to Canada on the basis of my experience, and I have just bachelor degree, and I have
Right.
done only 2 semesters I had cleared in MBA in Pakistan. So at the
Right.
moment, I just want to know one thing, that on the basis of my experience and my qualification, if I can move easily to Canada, or if I have to find another solution to take an admission in masters or in
Yes.
graduation in Canada? This is my question, sir.
Okay. So first of all, for student, you can always consider upgrading your qualification anytime in your life, and that is something that doesn't require assessment as such. It depends on your intentions, whether the visa officer is convinced, whether you really need to go for upgrading your qualification at this stage in your career, and do you have the ability to afford the tuition. So that is one thing. We can always find a solution for you, and we can always find a student option for you. But in terms of qualification for immigration, naturally you can see that you're losing a significant number of points in the age factor. Plus, you don't have a 3 or 4 years bachelor's degree. Your MBA was incomplete, so you'll be struggling with points. We can still see whether it would be conducive to go ahead and apply for immigration. But if not, then student visa might be the option. Student visa, of course, has its benefit. When you graduate, you can apply for a postgraduate work permit. You can qualify for immigration as well from within Canada. These days, Canada is prioritizing international students because of COVID as well. They are even conducting express entry draws that are targeted toward mostly international students. They are inviting them in
Right.
thousands. We had a very big draw happening, 27,000 applicants invited. So that was like shocking. But that also comes with the expense, right? It's not cheap. So if you have the affordability, if you have the required educational credentials to be able to get admission in a diploma or a master's degree, whatever you wish to do, we'll be happy to assist. I would recommend that you complete our assessment form for students, and my team will be able to coordinate with you and secure a good education option for you, and also assist you in study permit plus immigration as well. There's an assessment form for immigration as well. Okay.
So may I know the approximate idea of the fund that will be required for this all?
For student visa, you can assume that usually the yearly tuition fees is in the vicinity of 12 to 15,000. It may be more, it may be less, but depending on the institute you choose. For example, if you choose the University of Toronto, of course, it will be very, very expensive, and their educational requirements are also very stringent. So securing admission in that university is also very difficult. But we can find an institute where you can qualify. Okay.
So in any university or college, if I'm going to take an admission, then the IELTS will be required, or without IELTS it is also possible to do that?
So the language requirement is set by the institutes. It varies.
Mm.
Some institute would require different bands. That varies. There could be a possibility where you can secure admission without IELTS, with the condition that you would first complete an English course and upgrade
Right.
your qualifications. Subject to you completing that, you can then continue your studies. So we can look into that as well. Usually, the IELTS academic track is required. Okay.
That's fine then. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for attending today. Take care.
Thank you.
We have another a participant joining, but before that, we can have a look at some of the comments that are coming in, and they're pouring in at the moment. I'll just acknowledge some of them. Mansur Raza has joined us. He's at LinkedIn, and there are several people who are waiting in line. And Uzma Zaidi is asking a specific question. So I'm just going to deal with the participant very quickly, and then I'm going to come to the comments, because we don't really have any presentation today. We are only attending questions, so we'll be able to answer questions very, very quickly. So let's bring in another participant. We have Humayun Saber. I hope I'm pronouncing your name quick. Oh, maybe line just dropped. Okay. So we have another person joining us, Arsalan Hirani.
Assalamu, sir.
Wa alaikum salam, Arsalan. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, sir. Sir, I want to discuss my case regarding the Canada immigration or the other terms of the student visa type. So, let me tell you about my briefing about my background. That I have done the BS Civil Engineering in 2011. After that, I have almost 9 years of experience in the same relevant field. But unfortunately, that's the right. Is that right time for the student visa after the long gap, or to apply for the immigration?
Yeah, so student visa, the ideal situation is usually when people are studying and they are continuing their education, but there are people who are interested in upgrading their qualification. They are mature students, they have studied, and then they have worked for a while, and then now they are interested in applying for student visas. So there is no such bar as such that if there's a gap, there'll be a problem. Yes, there can be a concern on the part of the officer. He would look into your matter minutely and see whether there are some predicaments. But there is no bar. We can look into it, and we can also look into the assessment of your immigration prospects. I'm not too sure if you've already completed our assessment form. If you've already done so, our team is going to get back to you with their opinion shortly. Okay.
Okay. Sir, last question is that what's the difference between the federal skilled worker and the express entry?
Right. So, good question. A lot of people think that Express Entry is a program itself, which is not the case. Express Entry is a file management system. And under this file management system, different programs are dealt with. One of them is Federal Skilled Worker Program. The other is the Canada Experience Class, Canada Trade Class. Then we have Provincial Nominee Program applicants as well. So there is no comparison because these are not two different programs. Express Entry is the file management system where you have to create your profile to be able to be considered for provincial nomination, Federal Skilled Worker Program, and other categories. So yeah, you have to go through the Express Entry profile creation in order to proceed with your immigration. Some provincial programs do not require you to create that, like Saskatchewan Occupation in Demand program, but Express Entry is in itself a sort of a mandatory requirement, a first step in order for you to be
Sir,
considered.
in the express entry, there's a CRS ranking system scoring, but
Yes.
in the federal skilled worker, there's a point system. That's the 67 points, I think. So it's
Yeah, so I'll just explain to you very quickly. A lot of people think that federal skilled worker program, there is a different system, CRS. So basically, it's, the federal skilled worker program, the 67 points requirement is to allow you to enter the express entry. It's the entry requirement. There are minimum requirements. If you don't meet those minimum requirements, you will not be able to enter the pool. So once you get to the pool, those 67 points become irrelevant, even though you are a federal skilled worker program applicant. So if you have 66 points, you won't be able to enter the pool. So you won't be considered for the federal program, even though you have 66. I mean, 67 requirement is not being met. But even if you have 67 requirement, you enter the pool, it's not a guarantee that you're going to get an invitation to apply, because then you'll be subjected to what? The ranking points. And the ranking points might be like 300, 400, 600, whatever. Based on that, there'll be draws and you'll be selected. Additional points come from different other sources like PNP. If you have a PNP, you get 600 extra. If you have a job offer, which is confirmed job offer, at the managerial level, 200 points, at executive level, a lower level, 50 points. So depending on those, and then you get your invitation to apply.
So last question, if you don't mind.
Yeah, you can hurry it up, because I can see there are a lot of people who are trying to enter, but they are unable to. Yeah, please go ahead.
Sir, so my last question is that I have done the bachelor's, okay, and the express entry federal requirements that you have done the master's program. If you don't do this, so you are not eligible for the federal program. Is that correct or not?
Well, it's not correct. There are different factors. Some of them require minimum. There are some factors that require you to meet minimum requirements, like language, 6 bands each in each component. But if you don't have master's degree, it's not.
I have four years bachelor's.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, you should be able to. You should be looking at the bottom line, 67 or not, right? Not the master's degree. Okay.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
So much.
Take care. Bye. So let's take another participant, and I'll ask Arslan to just log off from the studio and continue on our Facebook or LinkedIn. We have Sayyid Wasi Ashraf from Khobar.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Islam. How are you?
Sir. How I am fine, sir. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Thank you very much. What's your question for us today?
Sir, my question is that I'm looking for the Canada immigration program. So I would provincial nomination program, sir. Actually, there is 4 states, I think: Atlantic, Arena, Northern, and Yukon community program. So
Okay.
I would like to migrate to these states, because I think that express entry is not it's a very big points they need. So I just see that score like that 67 points, so we can eligible to enter these 5 states, sir. So I would like to know, sir, if I migrate with my family to BNP program, sir.
Yeah, so basically we don't deal in those programs most of the times, because the main requirement is usually not met. And the main requirement, you might know, is to secure a job offer from an employer based in those regions. For example, Atlantic program. I don't mind dealing with a client who already has secured a job offer. We don't arrange job offers, and arranging a job offer and charging money from the clients is actually illegal, right? So all those local agents who are offering jobs and are charging huge amounts of monies, of course, I can say good luck to them. But we don't arrange. And if you don't have a job offer, you don't qualify for Yukon. They require you to have 2 job offers, right? You don't qualify for Atlantic program. So job offers, the problem with that is that in Canada, especially in this recession that is coming up in view of the COVID-19, we know that there'll be a lot of people will be struggling a lot on securing jobs. So I think you should focus on provinces that do not require you to have a job offer. Provinces like Saskatchewan, Alberta, Ontario, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island. So register with them, and hopefully you get your luck.
Okay, sir. Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, sir.
Take care.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So I can see that there are so many people who are trying to log in today. We'll try to answer each one of them very, very quickly. We have Abdul Qadir joining us today. How are you, Abdul?
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa Islam. How are you doing?
Fine, sir. Alhamdulillah. What about you, sir?
This is your question for us today, Abdul.
Sir, I want to ask you some questions. Basically, I'm a pharmacist and I have a degree in pharmacy. I have a master's degree, MPhil degree in pharmacy, and currently I'm enrolled in PhD. So my question is that as you know, that as a matter of fact, pharmacy is a very highly regulated profession. So pharmacists are eligible to apply for the immigration, but as a matter of fact, they need to be registered as a pharmacist in Canada. So how to apply without being registered in Canada?
Yeah, so the most important thing about Canadian immigration is that most of the occupation, especially in the federal program, you don't need to register before you immigrate. You don't need to get a license before you immigrate. Like, in comparison,
Okay, sir.
Australia requires you to get a license, but Canada doesn't. So even if you're a doctor, a pharmacist, or any other nurse, for example, all these professions, health-related professions especially, they're all regulated in Canada. They require you to get yourself licensed before you could practice, but not
Yes.
before you immigrate. So there is no issue. You can immigrate as a pharmacist without the need of getting licensed.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. My next question is that can I apply in other skill levels? I have also a job experience of a part-time teacher at a university. So, as a pharmacist, can I apply to the job of a university lecturer with a part-time job experience? Like it is 5 years part-time. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so
So
we'll
this
have
is my
to
question.
we'll have to look at um, the number of hours, and if they are coming down to at least 1 year, even if it is part time, you might be able to nominate that occupation, because you need to nominate one principal occupation, right? And then all the other occupations that you might have experience in, you may be able to gain points in those as well. We'll have to see which one of those is most beneficial for you to nominate as principal occupation. And yes,
Yes,
we
sir.
have a lot of people, especially doctors and pharmacists. They also teach in their respective faculties. So they
Yes,
basically
sir.
are lecturers and assistant professors and teachers. So you can
Yes, sir.
definitely claim points as a teacher as well. And when
Okay,
in
sir.
Canada, there is no bar. You can continue working as a teacher, pharmacist, or any other occupation. There is no issue.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, how many hours per year are required for that to be able to apply
So you
for
need to
the
calculate on weekly basis. There should be at least 35 to 37 hours per week. If you
per
have
week?
those, yeah, if you have those, you should be able to meet the minimum requirement. And then equivalent amount, right? For example, if 2 years is equivalent to 1 year, then it will be counted as 1 year full-time paid and continuous work experience, right?
Okay, thank you, sir. My last question, sir. I have 398 CRS points. As I was seeing your that status, that last draw was the minimum CRS points were 368, I think so, sir. So what
Yeah.
are my chances of
Yeah,
getting
so those were like
being nominated?
PNP specific draws. They won't
Okay, sir.
select you if a province has not nominated you. So that is why you perhaps were not selected. But hopefully in future, if the province nominates you, you get 100 extra points and you get selected as well. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you for
Thank
joining
you
us
very much.
today. Take care.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so that was Abdul Qadir joining us, and I'll request him to log off from the studio so that we can make some space for other people who are joining us today. Um, let's bring in another of our participant. Kawal Jafri is joining us. Hi, Kawal, how are you? Yeah, I think there's some internet issue going on with Kamal at the moment, so we can bring her in later if it doesn't improve.
Mr. Amir Ismail, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Oh, suddenly it's fine now.
Okay.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
please.
yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm from Pakistan, Karachi.
Yes. Yes.
My questions are, what are the fastest option to immigrate to Canada in current circumstances?
Yeah, so we have the skilled worker category for skilled workers. And it is usually a very quick program if you get selected, if you have wide ranking scores and everything. And the processing time is very quick after you get an invitation to apply. It's usually 6 months. Of course, we can't calculate the lead time as to when would you get your invitation, but yes, 6 months is pretty quick. When I was applying for myself, my own application took several years to materialize, and it used to be the case. 4, 5, 6 years used to be the normal procedure, but now, of course, they have expedited it. If you are meeting the requirements, if you have the required ranking score, you might qualify under the skilled worker program, and we can look into your eligibility. If you have already completed our assessment form, our team will be able to get back to you for a detailed consultation. But if you have not, I would recommend that you do it, and we'll be able to assist you. Okay? Yeah, we have a little bit of difficulty in hearing you, Kamal. I think the internet has an issue. But I think you can always get in touch with my team on info@amirismail.com, or just give us a call. You can even call us on WhatsApp. Our numbers are given on the website. I think we have a little bit of issue with the internet. It's lagging. Okay, let's see if we can add someone. Okay, I'm sorry, Kamal. I think there was a little bit of issue going on with your internet. We have Sayyid Wakar joining us. How are you, Wakar?
Assalamu alaikum. How are you, Mr. Amir?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. I'm joining you from Saudi Arabia. I have thank you so much. I have a question. I have a bachelor degree in electronics, and I have 8 years of professional work experience.
Right.
I have completed my ECA, and also I undertook IELTS exam. And I would like to share my scenario with you. I have 7 bands in speaking, 6.5 in listening, 6 bands in writing, and 5.5 in reading. So I would like to know if I would be eligible for any stream for Canadian immigration.
Yeah, I think you can look into the Saskatchewan programs, the occupation demand, if your occupation is there or not. If it is, then you might try, because I can see that you score 5.5 in one component that precludes you from entering the express entry pool. And my advice would be that you try to improve your IELTS and be able to enter the pool. So it will open a lot of doors. It's just a matter of improving one component, right? So that perhaps is the way forward. Otherwise, if you'll try with this band, with this little hitch in your IELTS, then you won't be able to be considered for any stream.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Bye.
Okay, so we have another participant coming in, and we have so many comments coming in as well. But we'll be attending a few of our participants before we get to those. We have Joy joining us. Hi, Joy. How are you?
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. Yes.
My name is Muhammad Asif, and basically I'm working.
The name Joy. That's why I said hello, Joy.
Let's say it was joined through the Facebook, so the name on the Facebook is mentioned here. Anyways,
yeah, got it. But you look very joyful.
Thank you. I've been working here in Saudi Arabia as a general practitioner, and I did my MBBS in 2004 from Dow, Karachi.
Right.
And I have already verified my degree ECA from the West, and I have got 7.5 in the IELTS score. Basically, I was looking for, because the age is a matter for, because my age is 42 years already, and I wanted to ask if it is possible to get, because I have searched already in the express entry program, and I think I might not be able to get the entry. Yes. So I was asking you, is it possible, because I went through different programs from the PNP, and I thought, because Saskatchewan and some other provinces have already removed this occupation.
And your occupation is that of a general practitioner?
Yes, as a general practitioner.
And you have not pursued any other occupation in your life, like as a
No,
teacher
no,
or
no. It is back to back. There is no gap, and since 2004, I've been working as a general practitioner.
so my opinion would be that it might be a bit difficult for you because when someone is not reaching to the required ranking, the going past rank, which is around 460 to 470 these days, they have to look for additional points. The additional points can come by way of two methods. One is to get a job offer, which is, of course, next to impossible for doctors. You have to have a license to get a job offer. The second option is the PNP, and most of the PNPs don't have doctors on their list. I think there was this Newfoundland program that introduced doctors, and the program, because the province is small, and the program quota was very limited, it got filled up very, very quickly. So maybe it's a good idea to keep an eye on that. If you're in the pool, in my opinion, the score is not going to go down below that much. That is going to accommodate people who are losing points on the age factor or language factor. So it is not a very encouraging situation, but I would still want you to remain in the pool, and there could be new programs coming in. And as I gave you the example, Newfoundland, they just introduced a program which has health professionals listed, right? So yeah, that could be the case. And your assessment, as I'm sure that as a good doctor, your assessments are always good, and that's why you look not 42, but maybe 30 at max. Good one.
Thank you so much.
All right.
But basically, I heard that this King Edward Islands,
Yes.
I think they have in demand occupation.
Prince
But
Edward
I
Island,
don't
yes.
know that they will accept without the job offer or no.
Yeah, so Prince Edward Island is a program that doesn't require to have a job offer, and if your occupation is listed, then you're fine, right? I haven't seen Prince Edward Island inviting doctors as such, because I'm pretty sure that they don't really have an occupation in demand list. So basically, what they're doing is they're looking at people registering, and then they're looking at their occupations, and if they're finding their occupation in demand, they're asking people to apply. So I can wish you best of luck. But thank you for joining us today.
Okay, thank you. Goodbye.
Okay, let's bring in one more participant. We have few people joining in. Some of them I'm really sorry because of the limited space. You were trying, but when you try and you see that you're at backstage, because some of the people, they might not leave after they've been attended to. Or it's already full. Basically, I can see that it's already full. Let's take another participant with us. We have Khalid joining us from Islamabad, Pakistan. Hi, Khalid. How are you? Okay, so maybe there's a little bit of internet issue with Khalid as well. Yeah, can you hear us, Khalid?
Do you hear now, Mr. Ismail?
Yeah, I can hear you now, but your video is a bit lagging, but we'll be okay as long as we can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much for putting me into the show. My name is, I'm from Islamabad, and I'm a government officer. I'm a certified public finance accountant. I've just I've just been qualified as an affiliate member for Chartered Institute of Public Finance and Accountancy. And beside that, I've been managing a few as well, with quite a few renowned artists as well here in Islamabad locally. And besides that, I was like playing football, and I got a few opportunities, and organized a few tournaments. And later on, I got to meet some people from FIFA and Asian Football Confederation. So I got an opportunity to organize some events as well there as well. And now I'm a certified football coach as well, a FIFA certified coach as well. And most probably I'll be going to Qatar as well in Arab Cup 2021, and I'll be representing Pakistan there.
Sure.
Actually, my sister is residing in Canada, and she advised me so many times to, I should like consider immigrating to Canada, and but I couldn't do so. Actually, due to my family crisis, I've documented this thing into my profile as well, and I really needed your guidance. Whether now that we have decided to separate, my boy is presently living with me. I just wanted to be sure whether I mean, if you don't have your spouse with you, is it really possible that I can get my immigration? And if it is so, I would definitely like to apply, and I
Yeah.
really need your guidance for that matter.
Sure. So people have the option of including their spouses. They have the option of excluding them. Depending on their marital status, they can decide accordingly. If there are children, of course, if the marriage is still intact, children can go with you and the spouse can stay back if she wants to. But yes, you'll need a consent from the spouse to let the children go. In some circumstances where the marriage is not intact for some reason, then official documentations are required in order to take the kids with you. So that I'm not suggesting that that is the case with you. I'm just giving you a generalized view of when there are children involved, how can they go with only father or only mother? So we can look into, first of all, your eligibility, whether you are meeting the requirements, and also the fact that what impact would it have if you don't include your spouse for the time being. Generally, people lose points when they include a spouse, because the system works in a way where if you include the spouse, they deduct points, and then they want those points to be given back to you by way of the qualification of the spouse, like language skills of the spouse, educational qualification of the spouse, and by doing so, they ensure that the accompanying spouse is also qualified. So someone who is bringing in a spouse who is not qualified, is not fluent in English, they are disadvantaged. So they do it purposely so that both the applicants are suitable enough in order to establish themselves in Canada. So I doubt there'll be any impact on your profile, but I can give a final opinion when I have your CV in front of me and I have all the details. So I would always recommend my clients to complete our online assessment form. It has been designed in such a way that it gets all the necessary information to allow us to make an informed decision or opinion, and share it with you. It is free of cost. It takes only 2 business days for us to advise you as to what course should you take. Should it be express entry, provincial nomination, or any other route that is suitable? It is available on our website. Please go ahead and do it, and we'll then continue our discussion separately on one-to-one basis, right? Okay, so I think
Okay, and I have a last question. I've actually I've once. Ji?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello. Do you hear me, sir?
I can hear you. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I have attempted IELTS. Yeah, that was back in 2006, I guess, and it was like I guess 6 or 6.5, my total score. But I'm not sure. I'm gonna obtain maximum mark, which is 7 plus for express entry program, I guess. So recommend I should like first go for testing my English ability, so like straight away I should apply for it.
Yeah, so a language test is a mandatory requirement. You have to have it before we could proceed further. A lot of people come to us after attempting the IELTS, but at least the free assessment can be done without IELTS. You can put in the score, this anticipated score, in our assessment form. That would allow you to at least know on speculation as to what score you might be able to get. Say if you are able to get 6.5, 7, you can put that in. And then later on, you can go for the IELTS test before starting the process. So I'll recommend that you go for, because we don't only see at your IELTS score, there are other factors involved as well: education, work experience, occupation, and the presence of a relative in Canada. Like in your case, you have a sister there, right?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Khalid, for joining us today.
Amir Ismail.
Thank you.
Thank you
Take
very
care.
much
Take care. Bye.
for your guidance.
Okay, so that was Khalid, and thank you for joining us today, Khalid. I request you to leave the studio so as to allow other people to join. And let's take another participant with us. We have Shariar from Saudi Arabia. Quite a number of people joining us from Saudi Arabia today. It's a good sign. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, sir. How are you, sir?
I'm good. What is your question today, Shariar?
So my question is this: that I'm around 40 years old, and I have BA degree from Pakistan, and I have around 15 years of experience out of 9 years in Saudi Arabia, and that's all in Pakistan.
Right.
So my department is logistics, transportation, and administration.
Right.
So according to my experience, what would you suggest me to, which program is best suit for me to applying to immigrate to Canada?
Yeah, so I'll ask you to share your CV with us, our team at info@amirismail.com.
I already applied this pre-assessment test.
Okay, so you're going to get a response from them, and then they'll be able to guide you to proceed further.
Yeah, they told me to join you one-on-one meeting. So after that,
yeah, so I'll be happy to assist you with that, hopefully, sometimes in the near future, and let's take it from there then. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for joining us. Okay, so wonderful. We have a few more people joining us today. And before that, let me just take a comment from LinkedIn. It is Imran Ladani joining us from LinkedIn. He's got one query. It says, nowadays there are a lot of advertising on Facebook that says pay $46,000 and get Canada PR under starter program. Please put some lights on that. So Imran, the starter program, of course, it is available. It has gone a lot of changes recently and has become a bit difficult. What these people are saying is they perhaps are indicating, I don't know if they're indicating their own fee or something, but the amount that they are indicating, I don't know if it's a confirmed amount or not, because for startup visa, there is no confirmed amount. You need to have the support in Canada for that purpose. So I think the best place to verify the details about the startup visa option is the IRCC website, www.cic.gc.ca. Look into it yourself, and then only, because there are so many fake agents advertising all the time. So it's better be safe than sorry. So that's fine. Okay, so we'll make some room and ask people who have been responded to leave the studio, so that we can make some room for other people, because I'm still receiving the prompts that people are trying to enter, but because we have lots of people already joined in, they can't. So I'll really appreciate if you can do so. We have another participant, Laiba Anis, is joining us. And hi, Laiba, can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me? Assalamu alaikum.
Perfectly fine. How can I assist you today? What is your question?
Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity. First of all, actually, my scenario is something like I am 24 years old and I'm living in Bahrain, born and brought up in Bahrain, but my parents are from Pakistan. So I have a Pakistani passport over here. So I have done all my education over here, and I have completed my graduation last year in September 2020. My major is the computer science, bachelor's in computer science, a 4 years degree. So I wanted to pursue my future in Canada, but not through student visa. Can you guide me like the other way which I can opt for? Apart from that, I have a 2 years experience along with my university. I was a full-time student, but I was working in an IT company as well.
Sure.
So now it's been around 2.5 years after my graduation, if I count all together. So it's like around 2.5 year experience as an IT developer.
Yeah, so my understanding is perhaps you were in touch with my team for the student visa purposes
Yes,
in
yes,
past. Um,
yes.
my memory is actually failing me, but I can remember your name. Um,
Thank you.
yeah, so for immigration purposes, you need to have at least 1 year of full-time paid and continuous work experience. And even if it isn't part-time, you might be able to meet the requirement. We need to see whether the 2 years experience is going to be sufficient for you to be able to reach to sufficient points to go for a federal program. But if not, would you be qualifying in one of the participating provinces? There are 10 provinces in Canada, 2 territories, and most of them have their own immigration streams. So basically, these provinces do not offer immigration, but they nominate people for immigration, right? So we can look into the possibility of you uh, getting immigration through federal program or the provincial program, whatever the case may be. I understand you might have completed our student assessment form, and then you were given
Yes.
the option of going for admission.
Excellent.
Yeah, but if you complete our immigration assessment form, if you have not already
Mhm.
done so, I would recommend that you do it so that we
I
can
have
determine.
uh,
You
I
have?
have done that too, and I was given as a result as I can go for express entry.
Yes.
But for that, I had to proceed with your everything and all. So this is the thing. Since I even checked for the CR score with
Yeah.
my education and with the 2 years experience, as I can prove that I have a 2 years experience, my
Right.
company still exists. So
Sure.
my points were around 413 something.
Right.
And for this I was looking, because as you know the situation and all, even if I go for student visa and student like for my further education, it will be probably online, which I do not think will benefit me in a way, because in my field the most things which benefit me are my skills, like my certificates and my skills in my IT field. As I'm still working now, they in even in Bahrain they give more importance to the skills which I acquire apart from my degree, but more skills and everything. Since
Okay.
in a development field,
Yeah.
these are the most
So,
important things.
so let me just add here that it will not be online forever.
Mm-hmm.
If you might be following the federal government's announcement recently that they are looking forward to welcoming back uh, people who are fully vaccinated, that include international students. And although they have not announced a date, but it will be soon. So if you're fully vaccinated and if you're an international student, you will be
Yeah.
able to come and travel back to Canada. It's not going to be online. Studying online might not be suitable for a lot of people. Some of the people they have actually appreciated it because it did not affect their postgraduate work permit eligibility, and they saved thousands of dollars in residence and other
Mm-hmm.
miscellaneous expenses. But since you have the desire to travel, that is going to be
Mm-hmm.
fulfilled once you get your admission, and hopefully when you start your next session you will be in Canada. But at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, a lot of people, they do have experience as well while they're pursuing their education. They also qualify for immigration, so side by side they have immigration application going on while they are
Mm-hmm.
studying. And
Mm-hmm.
that way, if their immigration application materializes while they're studying, they can save thousands of dollars on tuition fee, because they can
Mm-hmm.
then tell their institute that I'm a permanent resident now. So
Mm-hmm.
I think we can manage it.
Mm-hmm.
Even if the permanent residence application doesn't materialize and you graduate in
Mm-hmm.
Canada, then you know that you can apply for postgraduate work permit. You know that you
Mm-hmm.
can then perhaps consider applying for immigration under
Mm-hmm.
Canada Experience class. That is a class specifically designed for international students. So I think we can manage it. I would highly recommend that you coordinate with my team to start or take practical steps. If you're interested in nominating us as your representative, we will be happy to assist. Okay.
Okay, so like my now the final thing, you suggest me to go for like what do you suggest me to go for a student visa or directly go for any of the express entry immigration plans, Atlantic or anything? What do you suggest me?
Depends on your preferences, because there are a lot of people who do qualify for both the program, but they don't have the ability to afford the tuition because it, of course, comes at a bigger cost. Student visa,
Mm-hmm.
immigration, of course, they don't charge any fee for the time being. You apply, but then The selection is not known because you're depending on the provinces, and provinces have a limited quota, so it's not a guarantee. Student visa, at least you know that there will be an outcome, yes or no, when you apply for the visa. So I don't know. I mean, depending on your circumstances, you can give each one of them a chance together or one by one. You can think about it, and always you can always write back to us. We'll be
One
happy.
more thing, one of your previous person asked in the previous interview, like you talked something about the skilled worker program.
Yeah, that is the program for
So
immigration.
for immigration, it is different from Atlantic program or pilot program, or is it the same thing?
Atlantic program, there are provincial programs. Those programs require you to have a job offer. We don't deal in those programs because we don't arrange job offers. So, but other provinces like Saskatchewan, Alberta, Ontario, we can provide support. We'll be happy to assist. Okay.
And what if I have a job offer from Canada?
Yeah, so we'll look into it. You can ask your employer to get in touch with us because there is a procedure to get the job offer approved. There is a additional step involved. So depending on their location, we can assist them to get the job offer approved. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Take care, Ira.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So we have another participant. We have Nasrullah Khan joining us. Welcome. So Nasrullah, you have to unmute yourself. I think we can't hear you. There is a button. Yes.
Okay, now you can listen me.
Yes, I can hear you quite correctly. Yes.
Thank
go
you.
ahead.
Thank you for giving me a chance to join your studio. Sir, I want to, first of all, I want to explain my biodata. My name is Nasrullah Khan, and I am 43 years old, and I have 16 years education. I have also got my educational credential assessment from Canada, which is equal to 4-year bachelor's of Canada.
Sure.
Now I'm working. I'm looking for immigration from the last 3 years, trying my best. But the only hurdles I am facing are my age problem, due to
You're
which.
losing points in the age factor. Okay,
Yes.
well, I'll keep it really quick because I think there might be some people who would be interested in having us answer the questions, and we have already 1 hour into it. So I understand you are losing points in the age factor, and you've been trying, but you're not getting any answer. And that, unfortunately or fortunately for some people, but in most of the cases where people are losing points, they're struggling because they are depending on additional points coming from other areas, and the only area which is usually viable is the PNP program, 600 extra points. But with PNP, of course, you need to get an invitation from the province first, and that is not a guarantee. So the best they can do is to keep on trying, keep on renewing their express entry profile, and keep on registering themselves with the provinces. Unless they want to do something different, like a lot of people, they consider coming to Canada as a student, which is actually not an option for a lot of people. It is expensive. It is not practical. You have to leave your job and everything and your family behind sometimes, and come to Canada and study. So I don't think that there is a lot that could be done with people who are losing points and then also not getting PNP. The only option for them is to keep their profile alive, because they never know. You never know when a province might select you, and you have to be accurate about your occupation as well, because sometimes your occupation is in demand in a province, but you have not highlighted it properly. So I can't comment on it because I don't have the access to your profile, but this is the best can be done at the moment. Okay.
Right. And what about the Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program?
Yeah, we don't deal in it because it requires you to have a job offer. We don't arrange a job offer. Arranging a job, asking money against it is illegal. It's an offense in Canada. We don't do it, and that is why there is no option available with us, at least. Okay.
So there is no way for me to immigrate there.
Yeah, I mean, PNP is a way. It's just that you are not getting selected, right? So you have to be there. If you just lose hope and then pull your profile out, you won't get anything, right?
Actually, I don't have any blood relation in the Canada, and
Most of the people.
There are many factors through which I am losing many points, like
Age is the
the
biggest
age factor,
yeah,
and
or maybe
the
language.
qualification of my spouse is very low. She is just a matriculate.
Sure.
So these are some hurdles for me.
Right. So no, but I thank you for joining us today, and I hope that
Okay.
we might be able to assist you in future. Okay.
Right. Thank you, Amit. Thank you very much.
Okay. So yeah, we are actually getting out of time here, but we'll try our best to answer a few more questions. We have a lot of people waiting for quite some time now. Bilal, I'm sorry to keeping you waiting for a long time. There are so many people, and next time around, I'm going to increase the number of people waiting so that they at least know, because there are so many people who were not able to even enter the studio, and then the comments are still unanswered. So let's go ahead with your quick question, and then we'll.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm from Pakistan.
Sure.
My query was regards to the minimum proof of funds that are required. So just for the specific express entry profile that I was reading, that's eligible for me,
Sure.
$12,960. So at what point in time will we need those funds? I mean, is it when we're applying, or at least when we get an invitation to apply? I just wanted to know regarding that.
Yeah, so you need it at the time of invitation to apply, right?
Okay.
You don't need it right away at the point of express entry. You need to only indicate how much money would you be bringing, so that they can determine. So someone who's creating the profile says, I'm single and I have $10,000, the profile will be rejected. But if someone says, yeah, I do have 13,000, which is sufficient, meeting the minimum requirement, then the profile goes ahead, becomes alive. And then if you get selected, you get invitation, then they would ask you to submit proof within 60 days. These days they are giving 90 days because of Corona, but 60 days is usually the time in which to arrange.
And is it possible that when I get an invitation to apply, I arrange the fund at that point in time? As in, like, if I get an invitation to apply a couple of months later after submitting a profile, for example, 4 months later, and I get a lead time of 60 days. So in those 60 days, I'm able to arrange funds as like a gift deed from my parents or someone.
Yeah, you can
from
do that.
family.
You can do that as long as you're satisfying the source of the money, as long as you're satisfying the fact that it is not a loan, it is your own money, and it's not going to be taken away from you. It is unencumbered from debts. You should be okay. 4 months, they of course want to see the transactions, and of course, when you get the money from your parents, or it will be a huge amount coming in a very limited time. Naturally, you are expected to provide an explanation to that effect. So at that time, of course, you'll be required. Okay.
That's possible. That's possible to
That's
have.
possible. Yes. All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much for joining us, Lal. Take care. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Okay, we have another one joining us from London, UK. M. Khalid is joining us from London. How are you, Khalid?
I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm great. Thank you.
I didn't think I was going to make it to the list today, as I saw the last one was your last one, but I'll be very quick. So I have very quick questions. So I'm a citizen of UK, and my current circumstances are that my sister is living in Canada, and she is also a citizen of Canada. Now the problem is that, of course, we want to be together, and our parents are currently residing in Pakistan. So my question was around parent sponsorship, and I've been looking online on the website that you have to apply, and there's a lottery process which goes through, and then your parents get selected. Sometimes it could potentially take a couple of years or more. So hypothetically, if they get approved, and I personally don't have a problem migrating to Canada because my company can move me to the Canadian branch. So so it's just my parent sponsorship. So once they get approval and they move to Canada, as they're getting older, I was thinking about what about their medical or funds or expenses? Is that being met by the government if they're permanent residents? Because I think I was going to sponsorship requirements, and somewhere I read, maybe I could be wrong, that you have to be able to provide evidence, then you can support, or you have to give like a signed declaration that you will be able to support your parents for the next, I don't know, 10, 20 years. So does that change in if they become fine? I can support them till they become citizens, but after 4 years of living in Canada and getting citizenship themselves, will government provide any assistance in terms of their medical expenses?
Yeah, so basically you have to be a permanent resident citizen to be able to sponsor your parents. So the support would be coming perhaps from your sister, who's a citizen, and she should be able to provide that declaration and that promise that she'll be able to look after them for 10 years. Once they become permanent resident, of course, they have access to health benefits and all other benefits. It's just that if they are not provided for, like, basic housing, shelter, food, and everything, then they might have to, I'm speaking in general terms, the parents then have to access the public health, public support, the welfare system. And in that case, the sponsor has to repay to the government. So other benefits that are available for permanent residents, citizens, these are all available to your parents, and they can become citizen as well.
Fine. So, as long as, because I will probably sponsor them once I become permanent resident myself. And sorry, since you said that, is it different to working in Canada on a work permit sponsored by the company versus being a permanent resident? I.e., if my company transfers me to Canada on a work visa, do I have to still apply for permanent residence while in Canada, or is that the same thing?
So if you come to Canada on a work permit, if you have worked on a work permit for 1 year, you can then qualify for immigration under a program called Canada Experience Class. And if you are, say, deported back to the UK, you can still apply for immigration using that one year experience that you gain in Canada.
Okay, so as soon as I become permanent resident and I sponsor my parents and they come live with me in my home in Canada, then they would still have access to all those like medical facilities, etc., which are generally available to a Canadian citizen, if I understood that correctly.
Yeah, so if once they become permanent residents, they have access to all the health facilities.
Okay, cool. All right, thanks, Amir. That was the question for today. Thank you for your help.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us. We have a few more minutes left, and we have lots of people to attend to. We have Zainab Suleiman joining us, if she can hear us. Hi, Zainab. Can you hear us? Okay, so we are having difficulty hearing you, Zainab, I think because of the internet issue at your end. Okay, can you speak a little louder, please? I think we are having an issue with Zainab's internet connection. Okay, so we're going to add her again. We have Muhammad Rizwan Tariq joining us.
Assalamu alaikum, Amir.
Wa alaikum salam, Rizwan.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes. So what is your question for us today?
Okay, Amir, actually, I'm basically chemical engineer. I'm working here in Saudi Arabia with a 20 years experience in oil and gas. Actually, I tried 2-3 times for Canadian immigration, but I think due to some reason, I cannot get that. And now I'm almost 46, 47. So I'm looking that is there any other option other than the, like with my profession and like with some investment or something, I can get some options to go through with this immigration process?
Yeah, so this is going to be a big assessment, but I can ask you a very important question that might give us a clue. What is your current position? Is it a senior management position?
Actually, I'm working as a senior process engineer, not like a senior management, but middle management kind of.
And how many people do you supervise in this position?
Almost around about 15-20 people.
15-20. So basically for any investment sort of program, entrepreneur program, you're required to establish a business here in Canada. And to do that, you need to also have senior management experience. So we can look into your job description and see whether this meets the senior management experience requirement. Now, if it does, then you might be able to qualify under the entrepreneur program. So there are various provinces in Canada, they have various programs. We can look into one of the programs for that fits you. And if you have a business proposal that relates to your own work experience, and you can prove that you are able to pursue that business plan, we can look into the possibility of applying under that. Otherwise, we're going to say no, because there's no point in wasting time and money for something that is not suitable, right? So let's make sure this first, and then we have a business assessment form on our website. You can complete that for to allow us to see whether you meet the business requirement or not, or you can also explore on your own to see what senior management experience really means and determine whether it would be suitable for you to proceed with that option. Okay.
Okay. So how much with this investment or this entrepreneurship, that business, how much the money or the amount will be required to go with?
So basically, programs requirements vary. So minimum, there are two requirements. You need to meet the net worth requirement. And usually, the net worth requirement is around $500,000 or more. Net worth means the value of all your assets, right? But there's another requirement that you are required to invest certain amount. Depending on the program, it can vary from $200,000 to upward of $800,000 or more. Like for Ontario, the program, the investment requirement, the net worth requirement is higher for the GTA area, the Greater Toronto area where we reside, or outside the GTA area, cities that are in suburbs like Kitchener or maybe other Collingwood or some other smaller cities. But depending on your own network, that's why when we ask the questions in our form, we ask the question about network, your ability to invest, your senior management experience, and if everything is meeting, then we go ahead and apply. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So you're saying that I should go to your website and fill that form and then.
Yeah. So it's right there on our website. It says pre-assessment. You click it, and then there are options. You go to the business assessment form, you complete it, and then we'll be able to get back to you.
Okay. And this one, other than this one, with the other option, like what I said earlier, that with the age factor, so that is not possible now that I'm now 47, or there is still chance that I can try with that option as well.
Yeah, you can try, because if you're meeting the minimum requirement to enter the express entry pool, or maybe there's a program that doesn't require to enter the express entry pool, like occupation in demand and Saskatchewan. Depending if you're qualifying, you might want to try. I don't have the access to your profile at the moment, but once you complete the assessment form, we can see whether trying under any other provincial program as a skilled worker might be feasible. But you've been trying, you might have already seen that it is becoming increasingly difficult for you to qualify because of the simple one age factor, right? Although in past, the age requirement used to be like, they used to deduct points from age 50. Now they're deducting points from age 30. So for the last 6 years. So it is it's not suitable for a lot of people. They have crossed 35, but yes, we can look into it even in greater details. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Very much.
Thanks
care.
for your time.
Okay, so very quickly, we have another one, Amir Sultan, joining us. How are you, Amir?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. What's your question for us today? And if you could be a little quick about it, because I have a large number of people to attend to, and I have very few minutes. Thank you.
Yeah, I know that. Actually, I'm a little bit confused about the profile and the issues regarding immigration. Let me introduce myself. I have done BS honors in accounting and finance, and I have 3 years of experience as an accounts executive and operations manager.
Okay.
So actually, I'm not getting the right pathway to immigrate to Canada.
All right. So I can understand you might be looking into various options. and you might be a little confused about the programs available.
Yeah.
So we can look into it. These type of questions, I always recommend that you complete our assessment form to allow us to make an assessment. It's a free assessment form available on our website. Complete it. We'll get back to you with an opinion in 2 business days, and we can then
Okay.
the best possible path. And if there are any shortcomings, we can discuss those. And for those who don't qualify at all, we just say no to them because there's no point in wasting time and
All
money.
right.
All right. Thank you for joining us today, Amir.
Thank you. Thank you.
We have Mary joining us. I believe she is from Karachi.
Hello.
Hi, Mary. How are you?
I'm fine, sir. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for joining us today. What is your question today?
Sir, my question is that like I would like to apply for this express entry, but do I actually applied last year in 2017 for family sponsorship program, but I was rejected last year. So I
Okay.
want to apply for the skilled worker. So can you just guide me about this express program, like how it works and all?
Yeah. So for that, we can, of course, make an assessment. And I believe you've already filled out our assessment form, if I'm not mistaken. And our team is going to coordinate on that. What kind of sponsorship was that?
Family under family plus program. My uncle is in Canada.
Okay.
He's retired. And he didn't qualify. So I even appealed for this case, but still I got rejected.
Okay.
Yeah. It
Okay.
was all by myself. I was
Yeah,
doing
so
this
we
case.
need to look into that refusal as well, because those refusal might have an implication on your future application. So given the reason of the refusal and the class of the application that was used for that purpose, we can look into that first. Secondly, we can also look into the assessment for your immigration. So I would recommend that you coordinate with our team. I believe you're already in coordination with our team,
Yes.
and we'll be happy to assist. Okay.
Yeah. So, is it possible that I'm like an executive assistant? I have 16 years of experience, and my husband is a diploma holder. So,
Sure.
is it possible I apply for this SASFAS program? Like, how it works, and how it registers. It's very difficult, like to understand.
Yeah, so if you're not be qualifying, we're not going to recommend you, right? We will say no, because we don't really want people to waste their time and money. We would honestly let you know whether you should go ahead or not. Okay, so let's
Okay.
coordinate on that, and we'll be in touch. Okay.
Yeah. So I'll send you my this, what is
Sure.
my answer for this appeal thing, then you can
Sure.
let me know.
We'll
All right,
do
sir.
that.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so I'm gonna give another try to uh, Zain Zainab Suleiman. Hi, Zainab. Let's try one more time if you can hear us.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for
Assalamu alaikum.
rejoining. I'm sorry I had to remove you because I couldn't hear you at that time. What is your question for today? Yeah, I think we are facing the same issue, Zainab. What I can do for you is I would recommend that you coordinate with us on WhatsApp, and then we can schedule a one-on-one. This might not be working for you. We are having an issue with the audio. Okay. No. So okay. So let's coordinate later, Zainab. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, so I'm sorry about that. I think there's an issue going on with Zainab's. Okay, so let me bring in very quickly because we are already over time. We have still around few more minutes, and I'm tempted to attend to all the comments as well because I'm very thankful for these people. They have been very patient. They've been posting comments, but we've not been able to attend to them. So let's attend to some of the questions. Let me bring in my international director, Khwaja Noman, as well. He has been very patient as well, but he has been watching. Okay, let me bring him in. Hello, Noman, how are you? Yeah, maybe the issue is at our end, because I can't really see Numansab as well. Maybe we have to troubleshoot. I don't know. Yeah, I think there is an internet issue going on, but I'll add him again. Let's start with some comments. We have Aisha Khan from Facebook. She got her PR in 2020, Jan. She's flown back to Karachi in Feb. And after getting her PR, since then she's in Pakistan. She hopes that she's all good to fly back. PR card in hand, yes. And yes, the answer is yes. You can fly back to Canada. You can stay away from Canada. The absences could be like 3 years in every 5 years. So you're still good. Okay. There is a question coming in from Sayyid Zaid Hassan, and he's 48 years old. He's an IT consultant, 10 years experience. His age is 48. Is he still eligible for immigration? Many immigration consultants he's visited. So basically, you're losing a lot of points. So we'll see if we can, if you are meeting the minimum requirement, and if you may be able to qualify under maybe an entrepreneur category if you're an IT consultant, or any other startup visa or something, we can look into it. Okay. So complete our assessment form and we'll be able to assist you. Let me try Khwaja Naman once again and see if his internet is working properly. And Mansab, is there any luck with your internet? I think no, still very lagging. Okay, so no problem. We can take some few questions. There is a question from Uzma Zedi. She's a practicing specialist doctor in Pakistan, and she calculated her points for immigration. They are 377. And can she apply for immigration? And how can she increase her score? So basically, 377 is a score where we can see that you might not get a direct invitation under the federal program because the score under that category is hovering around 460 to 470 lately. So you might have to depend on the provincial program. Unfortunately, there are not a lot of options available for PNP candidates. For those who are doctors, Newfoundland might be one of the options, but I think remaining in the pool and applying and be available for selection, you never know, because Alberta and Ontario select you directly from the pool, so it might be a good idea to do it, to remain in the pool and not let your profile expire, right? Okay, so I think I'm having difficulty adding Khwaja Naman to the call. Okay, so there are a few more questions that I would like to take before we conclude our meetings. Sheikh Adil is saying that he has done his BE 4 years program in 2008, and he has work experience 8 years, but in different field. Wife is a doctor. So Adil, yes, it can happen that you may have a degree that is different from your work experience. You might still qualify and meet the requirements. And since your wife is a doctor, she will be able to meet the minimum requirement if she has at least 1 year, one experience. She has at least 6 bands in IELTS in each component. But yes, being competitive helps. 6 band is not sufficient in most of the cases, so you have to try your best. Okay, so I would say hi to Karim Virani, joining us from Karachi. Thank you for joining us. Several questions that remain unanswered, but we'll try our best to attend to a few of them before we say goodbye to you. Wes is 34 years of age, wants to apply for Canadian immigration. What are IELTS requirements and expense required? So Wes, first of all, let's make an assessment of your eligibility. The minimum IELTS requirement is 6, but I would always recommend 2. Improve your IELTS, try to get better score, even for PNP programs where the competition is tough. And if you want an assessment, we can always provide you one when you complete our assessment form at our website. Okay, let's see. We have a few more comments coming in. Shiraz is saying good work to keep everyone aware about the current circumstances from our current wave of Islamophobia. Shiraz, everyone is concerned here, but we know that these incidents are very rare in Canada. But of course, whenever this kind of thing happens, it breaks everyone's heart. It makes people sad, and it reminds us that Islamophobia or any kind of racism, the world is not has not done enough to get rid of it. Even Canada, where the general impression is that they are very tolerant, or we are very tolerant in Canada. Of course, we embrace people, but yeah, unfortunately, these type of things happen, and a lot has to be done practically, and changes in laws, or getting involved with the community and making people aware that it is a good idea to involve everyone and respect for everyone. So hopefully this is not going to affect in the long term, but yes, and I'm glad to see the response it has received from people from all backgrounds, black, whites, brown, and Hindus, and Muslims, and Jews, and Christians, and Sikhs, you name it. Everyone was on one page. We are Canadians, and we need to be together in it. And it's heart wrenching, but yes, we have to look at the practical aspect and overcome it. Okay. Rashid is saying he's an electronics technician, has 15 years experience in his field, needs to suggest which program suits me. So Rao, there are several options, especially for technical people. We can look into your eligibility, and we can see whether you qualify in one of the programs, and see what program suits you. The best way is to share your CV with us at info@amirismail.com, or complete our assessment form. We'll get back to you with an assessment. Ramadan Hassan is saying how to connect you directly. We have our phone numbers available on our website. We have our email address, info@amirismail.com. And if you're looking for an assessment, we have an assessment form that you can complete, and we'll be happy to assist. Okay. Okay. Asma is saying she's an old client. She applied for Canada Immigration and Express Entry in Pool, but due to application being a dentist, worried I will not qualify for ITA. Can I halt this process and go for study visa through SDA? So Asma, please get in touch with our team, and we can discuss the other option, and we'll be happy to assist you in any which way. Okay. Okay. Asma saying opinion. So I have asked Asma that you get in touch, and we'll be happy. Sheikh Mumtaz is joining us from YouTube, and is asking, he's 47 years of age, easy way. What is the kid's age limit? So the dependent age is up to 22, and you might qualify in one of the categories. We need further details from you, and we will make an assessment. Provide us details by way of one of our assessment form, depending on what backgrounds you have. If you're a student, or a skilled worker, or a business person, you can fill out our assessment form on our website. Shahzad Nawaz is asking what is the WhatsApp number, and I'll show it to you on screen. It is 647-835-0660, and I think you can see it here. WhatsApp number is 647-835-0660. Okay. Okay, so we have last couple of comments that we might be able to. Okay, so Asma, we have already addressed. So I think we have addressed most of the questions today. And I apologize for people who tried to get in, but they were not able to because of the limitations we had. But you can try the next time, or get in touch with our team directly on our website, WhatsApp number 001-647-835-0660. On our website, www.amirismail.com, we have our assessment form, or you can email us info@amirismail.com. And I thank you, all of you, for joining us. And we hope to be of assistance. And the next time when we come online, I hope to having more of you joining us. Okay. So until then, I say goodbye to you, and we'll be in touch. Thank you.